fire to keep the mosquitoes away. We don't need it for heat, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah.
That trap.
Lamb gun. Amongst other things, yeah. You're one of the farmers there. Your last name is Tim.
Well, first of all, when John asked me to come and share some stories about North Amherst and farming in North Amherst, pretty much what I had to work with is stories from my dad. Basically, I grew up in Hadley. This farm has been in our family since 1919, right on the corner of 11 Meadow Street. Over the past number of years, there aren't many farms left, but the cooperation and the mutual assistance amongst the farms is really good, and that's one of the ways that all the farms have really survived. And I hadn't had too many examples of that happening very recently until I got a notice that our sheep were out on Sunday in the apartment complex across the street, only to find Dave and Ben, his assistant, were already out there with their truck rounding them up. So we spent a few hours chasing some sheep and having a little fun with that. But it was really nice that to have the neighbors that still will come out. And so so I grew up hearing lots of small anecdotal stories about the farms. It seems like every area where now where there's a store or there's some housing developments, it's Mitten's farm, or it was this so-and-so's farm. So there's a lot of memories with some of the people growing up here, with a lot of what we know now as more of an urban setting was someone's farm. Most of the housing developments here, from Owen Drive to all the apartment complexes, from townhouse apartments down to the university, all were someone's farm. So it's nice to see some very small community-oriented farms still existing, because they've gone away. And in my lifetime, I've seen a number of them disappear.
I'm sorry? Why do you farm?
And why do I farm? Wow, good question. It's really something that, and I know this sounds really cliche, it's really something that it's in you. It's a lifestyle. It's not simply a career. It's something that I grew up with, growing up as a young man, watching how hard my father worked, watching how hard my uncle worked, the few, if any, vacations, the 7-day-a-week. It was nothing I wanted to be involved with. And I have a brother and a sister who both shared my view, and they wanted absolutely nothing to do with it. And I really did not intend to go into farming. And at some point, maybe when I was 14 or 15, I was working summers with my dad, and it gets into you, becomes a part of you. And working with the land, producing food, there's something very special about the seasonality of it. Starting in the spring, there's nothing better than going out and dropping a plow in the ground that first time in the season when you first turn over the earth. In fact, my wife Sarah, this was already 21 years ago, when we first started dating. She came from Pittsfield, and she had very limited experience to farms. And I was plowing up the piece of land in mid-April, and she walked out and she couldn't get over the smell. And the birds were coming to start, because as soon as you turn the earth over, it brings up a lot of the insects that are in the soil, and the birds know this, and they come right in. So she was fascinated by this activity. And within about 15 minutes, she took her shoes off, and she just was walking up and down the field because she couldn't believe what it felt like to have the cold earth in her feet. And she said, this is really like just something that, it's a very intangible thing. And so then you plant, and you see the seeds germinate, and you nurture, very much like raising children. You watch everything grow. You tend to, depending on what luck you have with the weather and other factors that you can't control, and then also doing what you can, taking it through harvest, marketing it, putting the land to bed, if you will, in the fall, and starting all over again. So I wish I could give you a solid answer, but
that was pretty solid.